My name is Don Wayne, and welcome to In the Nova, where I talk to tomorrow's icons today. And today, I am joined by lo-fi pop artist Ghost Weather, joining me all the way from California. And if I had a few words to describe Ghost Weather, I would say talented indeed. And I would also say driven and most importantly, genuine. He is very genuine. He's got such authenticity with his music. And it kind of reminds me of 21 Pilots or The Neighborhood. I'm not saying that his music sounds, any particular song sounds like those guys, but it does remind me of that. And he's that good. So without further ado, let's go ahead and head over to that conversation right now. Here is the one and only Ghost Weather. How should I refer to you?
Oh yeah, Ghost Weather or Michael, whatever feels natural,
And where are you? Where are you at like these days?
Yeah, Hollywood, California. So Los Angeles.
Hollywood, California. Wow. Yeah. Are those Beyerdynamic monitors behind you?
They're actually Adam Audio.
Oh, Adams. Okay. I'm kind of a gear junkie. And
gotcha.
Yeah, the Adams are really good. I did have a pair of Beyerdynamic kind of look like those. And I've got about 12 pairs of reference monitors now.
Yeah, I see a bunch behind you too. Yeah.
There's even a lot more than what you can see here. But right on, man. So I'll just, for the ease of the conversation, I'll just refer to you as Michael because that's your name. But Ghost Weather does have this sort of mysterious, dark sort of thing. Where did you come up with that name, Ghost Weather?
It started when I was probably 11 years old. And I remember a specific day where I was riding my bike in Ohio. I grew up in Ohio. And it's like this overcast, like 60s degree weather in the fall in Ohio. The leaves are turning, and there's something kind of spooky about it. And I remember just feeling the breeze coming, and almost like a storm's coming. And I thought of it, and then I held on to it for years, and I did nothing with it, and it just kept coming back. So I said, you know what? I've been making some darker music. I'm gonna just name the project after it.
Right on. I love it. I think it's awesome.
Thank
it's
you.
Got this, Ghost Weather. It's something that actually when I Google Ghost Weather, the only thing that I see is you. And that's another great thing as an independent artist. So I did read that you went to Berklee. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
When I first discovered your music, it was the song, actually, Lisa, she helps me curate the show. She came across Personal Bias, which I love that track. When I was reading about you back when I think I first put your song on my show, probably 2 or 3 months ago, I did read that you also, do you teach like production and stuff like that?
Yeah. I'm starting to do sort of one-on-one teaching. I actually haven't completely started that yet, but I'm in the process of sort of coaching independent artists on how to break out a little bit. It's very hard right now, especially independently. It's just, you just don't have any leverage really. So, the way I did it was mostly through social media, and I think I can help other people do that too. So on my website, I've started a mentor program. That's
really awesome. And what DAW are you on?
I'm mainly in Ableton. I'm a big Ableton fan.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'll occasionally track in Pro Tools, and I started on FL Studio and then kind of transitioned to Ableton. But my degree at Berklee was in electronic production and sound design. So a lot of the synths you hear in the songs, like I designed those from scratch on analog gear, and it's very that's kind of part of the art for me, for sure. Is like designing it to be exactly what you want,
I love that process too, man. That's really awesome. And so I'm guessing at Berklee, when you go to Berklee, do they pretty much is like Pro Tools the standard DAW that they teach on, or? Logic?
Yeah, it depends on what major you're in. So in EPD, we did mostly Ableton, and then a little bit of Pro Tools, a little bit of Logic, but mostly Ableton and Pro Tools. And then if you're in like music production engineering, you're mostly just mixing in Pro Tools in the studio.
Right. Yeah, Pro Tools does have a stellar mix engine. That's what I use. I use Pro Tools. Been on Pro Tools since 2004. So
Nice.
I'm, older than you, and so I've been on it for a minute, man. What's that?
Said you're seasoned pro in Pro Tools.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while now, and I love that you teach, because that's a great way to give back. I like to teach too. I used to give a clinic at Guitar Center in Atlanta once a month, teaching people how to use production software, and to me, it's just awesome to be able to see somebody light up, Yeah. I don't know. It's very fulfilling. That's for sure. But
100%, yeah.
And so were you always producing music on your own? Do you have any other producers that produce with you or for you, or is it all just you?
I started producing and writing around age 13. I think it was about 13. And then up until recently, it's just all been me, produced, recorded, mixed and mastered. And then recently I started working with this producer, Steezy Prime. He's a big lo-fi guy. And we've been doing a bunch of collabs. I've pretty much been releasing a solo song where I do everything, and then him and I work on something. And so he's been producing on those, and I'm mixing, mastering, and recording and processing vocals and all that. So it's been nice to actually kind of find a bit of a community too that sees the vision, and he's awesome. I highly recommend you check out Steezy Prime. I was a big fan.
Definitely going to.
Yeah. Before we collaborated, I used to be a huge fan of his music. So it's kind of a dream come true to work with him.
That's awesome. And so how did you end up connecting with him?
He saw an Instagram post of mine and just DM'd me. And I was like, oh, I know you.
Yeah. Wow.
It's cool.
Man, talk about putting it out into the universe and getting it back, man. That's awesome.
Well, you want to hear the weird thing too? So we were both in Boston when we started collaborating and didn't realize it. And then we both moved to LA at the same time.
Wow.
So we've been starting here fresh, which is cool.
Did he also go to Berkeley?
No, he was just living in Boston.
That is, man, that is just nuts. That's
just meant to be
right there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Man, so that's really awesome. And so I'm guessing you two collaborate virtually, or because you're both in out there in Cali, do you guys actually collaborate in person?
Yeah, now all of it's in person. So I go over there just about once a week, and we started an ambient project, and then also just working on the Ghost Feather music.
Wow.
It's been great. Yeah.
So moving to California, like you said, you're from Ohio?
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Boy, that is that's quite a courageous leap, I would say.
Yeah. I've been bouncing around a little bit. I moved to South Carolina when I was young, like 18, and then I went to Berkeley up in Boston, and now I'm out here, and I've kind of gotten to discover that I really enjoy the West Coast and just the Western United States in general because of the mountains, and I mean, all that stuff's just so inspiring to me. We just don't have that in Cincinnati, as much as I love Cincinnati in Ohio.
Yeah. Well, I'm here in South Florida. I was actually born and raised Treasure Island Beach, which is where I'm at now, which is basically St. Petersburg, Florida. And I have never personally seen where the mountain meets the ocean. Of course, I live right on the Gulf of Mexico, but to see like the mountains meet the ocean, man, that would just be so inspiring to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. You should come out to LA sometime, man.
Oh, dude, I would love that. I would love that. My wife used to actually live there. So
nice.
Yeah. So it would be really cool to see one of these days, man. It's definitely on the list.
Well, and give yourself some credit. The Gulf is beautiful, dude. Like you guys got the greatest beaches. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did live in Atlanta. Atlanta's like a big mecca for music and stuff like that. And I did live up there for a while, but there's no beach in Atlanta, so I had to come back home.
Totally. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Near the water is something else.
So, so have you ever done any like live performances or anything like that with a band?
Yeah, I did a few that were mostly covers in Boston, and then I had a house show in Ohio one time. But honestly, I haven't been doing as much performance as I'd like to. I'm trying to get more into that.
Right on. And do you
I
play?
like singing live, so it just hasn't clicked yet, but it's coming.
Right on. Yeah. And there's probably nothing, I've never been like an on stage live performer. I couldn't do it, I don't think. But just to feel the energy from the crowd and stuff like that, that must be pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you play keys or guitar or anything like that? Or
yeah, I play guitar. I play a little bit of keys, but not confidently enough to perform. But guitar, definitely.
Right
At Berkeley,
on.
I took a couple of different guitar classes, and I've been playing guitar since I was 10. So probably longer than I've even produced or written music.
Wow. Guitar is such a, I don't know, man. I play keys. I've been playing keys since I was a little boy, actually. But I mean, just the guitar, just the technique and trying to wrap my fingers around the fretboard and just, I don't know, man. It's just something like my brain can't click with, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with me and keys. I get all confused. Like I can play a little bit, but I just can't, I don't have the fluidness I have on guitar. I feel like a lot of it's where you start when you're young. Like it really does make a difference.
Yeah.
Your brain just kind of adapts to it.
Were your parents like musically inclined at all, or?
Yeah, my mom was a professional opera singer when she was younger.
Whoa.
So yeah, I learned a little bit of singing from her, and then I had some training at Berkeley. So yeah, but we don't really have like a huge music thing in our family besides that.
I mean, that's pretty substantial, I would say.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure your mom is. Yeah.
She's really impacted my taste too. Like, yeah.
Does she give you like pointers on like vocal techniques and things like that?
Yeah, she definitely used to. Yeah, I don't get to sing for her very much anymore, but back when I was younger, definitely.
Has she been out to Cali to see you?
Yeah, one time. Yeah, she visited for, I want to say about a week, which was nice. Yeah, her and my dad too.
Wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they're supportive of your music. Obviously, you went to Berkeley, and yeah,
they're super supportive, and I'm very fortunate to have them. I talk to them every single day.
That is really awesome. I have a lot of respect for that. I'm close with my folks too, and
nice.
They've always been very supportive, and it's good to have that,
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And so with your vocals, like you've got like you can get up there pretty high with your register. Where, I mean, was that something that like, did you have to do a lot of training to be able to hit those notes, or was that just natural for you?
I've naturally had a pretty high voice. I'm a tenor too, and
okay.
I can't actually hit super low notes. Is the thing. So it's more just naturally where my voice sits. I feel like I talk lower than I sing a lot. I don't know why. It just kind of sits that way.
Right. And so I really love 21 Pilots.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, your music, I mean, it doesn't really sound like any 21 Pilots song that I've ever heard. But I kind of hear the, like, because you have a lot of diversity, your textures that you use, the sounds that you choose, the arrangement, all of that stuff. And it's just, of course, 21 Pilots, they're very versatile and, they're sort of all over the place, but you've got that too, man. You're like, you kind of like encompass all of these great things into one. And that's just awesome.
Well, thank you. Yeah, they're a huge inspiration of mine. I mean, I used to listen to their music all the time. I was really kind of studying their mixes, and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
They've really impacted my music, and they're also from Ohio. So I remember when I discovered them, I was on a bus in grade school, and someone showed me their YouTube video, and it only had like 50,000 views or something. They were still pretty new. It was car radio.
Wow.
I instantly after that, I was like, yo, this is cool. Because I used to be really into emo music, like My Chemical Romance. And I think they were a good bridge between like commercial pop and sort of more emotional music.
Yeah. I love My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
And,
they're great.
Yeah. That's
Gerard
awesome.
Way is a legend.
Yeah, for sure. I did not know that 21 Pilots was from Ohio. My wife and I actually saw them in concert in Orlando. It was I think it was the jumpsuit tour or something like that. Everyone was wearing yellow and gray. It was an amazing show. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Have you seen them live?
No, I need to. They're on the list for sure.
You need to, because they put on a fantastic show, no doubt.
Next time they're in LA, I got to hop on those tickets before they get too expensive.
Oh yeah, because they do get up there in price. That's I know.
Yeah, just gotta be early.
Yeah, you gotta be early. Now, I also love The Neighborhood, and I love the production of The Neighborhood, and I can kind of hear that with your music too. What do you think of The Neighborhood?
Oh, I've seen them live. I love The Neighborhood. I saw them live in Indonesia, actually, which was crazy.
Oh, dude, that is awesome.
Yeah, it was sick. Yeah, I used to have a friend whose family was from there, and he took me over there. We went and saw The Neighborhood. We saw Vince Staples too, which was cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang,
SZA,
man.
also SZA. Yeah. It was like
that is epic.
Yeah, it was a music festival in Jakarta, or Jogjakarta, I think.
Wow. How was Indonesia? Was it cool?
Oh, it's so cool. I want to go back. How do I even describe it? The cool thing is I got to see a lot of like the real parts of Indonesia, like, you know, his family and their situation and all over the place. They had properties in different areas. So I got to be on Sumatra and Java, all the, you know, different islands too. And it just really changed my life. I was 17 and I hadn't left the US before. And it just really opened my eyes to, like, you know, different ways of life outside of the US. I feel like we get kind of stuck in our ways here. And it's like, well, there's other ways people live, you know, and other cultures we should be interested in, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's awesome that you were able to actually see a part of it that's not like the tourist area.
Yeah.
You know? And really see, like, you know, the real Indonesia.
100%.
That is so awesome, man. I bet you that was very inspiring too.
Major inspiration. Like, it's I still think about it. I'll be up at night, just little bits of it come back, you know? and I'm like, yo, I got to get out there again.
Do you like music, like EDM music festivals and stuff like that, or?
Honestly, I've never been to one. I never really got super into EDM, but I totally respect it. And the sound design, especially, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's some interesting elements that go on with it. I like house music. Of course, I listen to everything, you know, and that's actually one of the reasons why I love your music so much, is just because you do kind of, you know, take all of the great things from here and there and put it all together, which is really awesome. Now, your next release, is that going to be, and I'm sorry, I am going to look up the artist, but can you say his name one more time?
Yeah, Steezy Prime.
Steezy Prime?
Yeah, Steezy Prime.
Are you guys in the works for anything new?
Yeah, actually, my next release is a collab between just him and I, and it's called Pavement, and it drops on July 17th.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's going to be right around the time that this will probably come out. I might be able to air this next week, but might be the following week. So that'll be perfect. Yeah. And that is called Pavement, you said?
Pavement. Yeah. I would say it's a little bit more sort of upbeat, little, I would say a little beachy even. So I'm excited about it. It's a bit of a different vibe.
Nice. It'll totally fit the beach vibe here.
Yeah, summertime, you know.
For sure.
Been feeling it.
What are your plans for the 4th of July? You doing anything fun?
Well, I might be going to, I forget where it is actually, but one of my friends from Berkeley that just moved out here invited me to something, and you know, I've been so busy, I haven't really been thinking about like having fun. So hopefully we'll get out there and do something.
I hear you. I hear you. Too busy to have fun.
It's just, you know, it's that period of time, and I'm all for it. I'm just happy I'm out here doing it, man.
I mean, when you love what you're doing, it's not really. I mean, does it really work? You know?
No. It's a grind, but I mean, it gets me up every morning. You know?
Exactly. I mean, to do what you love to do is, I mean, that to me is success. No matter how much money that you actually make from it, it's success to me. And speaking of success, man, like you, I think that I saw on Spotify that you've locked in like 35, 40,000 monthly listeners, and that's pretty substantial.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
I've held that for over a year, pretty much, which has been a dream come true. Like I can't even describe how. Like when I was younger, I would not have even dreamed of being this far already. Like I just hope we can keep it rolling and just keep connecting with people is really the main thing. You know, it's such a amazing feeling knowing that there are that many people, you know, connecting with it.
For sure. Yeah, that must be awesome. And because, you know, on Sonic Scout Radio, we always talk about this, that a lot of artists will pay, you know, playlist pushers, and they might see a huge spike like on one track, but they're not locking in monthly listeners. And that is so much more important than just, you know, the big numbers on your streams on a single or something like that. And your consistency is good. You know, you can see that it's organic and it's continuing to grow. And you know, I mean, I can't wait to see, you know, when you've reached 100,000, you know, 500,000, 1 million, stuff like that, because you're gonna get there. 100%.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I mean, I think so too. I'm super. It's funny you bring up the playlist thing, because like these days I'm like super anti playlist, actually, especially for pop music. I'm not trying to get on any playlists at all. It's all about direct to fan, because when your song is on like a big playlist, like you might get streams right away, but the issue is that it tells the algorithm that people are not engaging with your music. So the way you can get the Spotify algorithm to pick up more is by having, you know, all of your listeners be actually engaged. So they're much more likely to save and add to a playlist if they're, you know, coming directly off of something rather than just passively listening on a playlist. That can work for like ambient music and lo-fi more, because it's just not as much of a engaged genre in general. But with pop music, it's all about like saves and playlist ads and all that.
Right. Yes. And we talk a lot about that. What are your thoughts about Sonic Scout Radio playing only unsigned independent artists?
I think that's amazing. I think there needs to be more representation like that. And you guys are filling that gap in a way that, you know, we're often forgotten by this industry. Like they don't want us to find independent success, because in the music industry, I feel like there's always been middlemen, you know?
Right.
And it's just much harder. And then the labels own a lot of the, you know, infrastructure that allows people to be discovered. So having people like you to amplify our signal is like huge.
I love your music. My wife, like I said, she's the one that originally came across you. And then I've been playing your music. It's been in heavy rotation ever since, man. It's been about 3 months now. Yeah.
That means a lot, man. I really appreciate that. And yeah, same to you, dude. Like I'm going to be telling everybody to go check out your show. And it's like, in that way, you know, we can kind of create like an ecosystem that doesn't rely on these, you know, big players to push things out. And I think that's where the music industry is headed, I think, especially with the way social media is going, and even AI music. Like I feel like, yeah, that's the big one right now, right?
I'm not really a fan of it. Like I'm pretty dead set against AI. But it is the future, in my opinion. What are your thoughts, like in general, about AI? Like, what do you think? Have you ever used Suno or anything like that to draw inspiration, or what are your thoughts about that?
So yeah, I'm definitely not ever going to use Suno. I mean, part of my craft is making stuff from scratch, and I just feel like AI music kind of circumvents the creative process for me. However, I'm not entirely opposed to people making AI music. I think you're right. Like it's a technology that's going to come whether we like it or not. But I do feel like if they are trained on other people's music, there should be some sort of royalty distribution going on there. And I also think that just like you're doing on your show, like it should be labeled. It should be labeled as like, this is AI. Right. And I think Suno should be paying out royalties to the artists that they've essentially stolen the music from to train their models. So that's my personal opinion. Yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I've said this, I've talked to several artists that I've interviewed, and they all, we're all in agreement with each other because to me, it's just downright plagiarism, Yeah.
Same.
I was actually, I do a lot of music for sync and stuff like that. Like dude, I actually had my, I had my music in this really kind of crappy music library called, oh my gosh, what was it called? Pond 5. You probably heard of it. It's a big platform. But anyway, so they sent me this email saying that they're going to use my music for AI research. And so I stopped submitting my music to them because of that.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah. It was very disheartening, but
I think most important thing to me is that it's labeled as AI, because there's just a different, there's a level of skill that goes into making something that's coming out of a person, rather than just a machine that's mimicking people. And like, I use auto-tune, I use digital synthesizers, and I'm sure like back in the day, I remember hearing about when synthesizers came out, when auto-tune came out, people had a similar sort of reaction as like, oh, this is cheating in a way. But right. I also, it is different because those are tools. They're not actually creating, you're still shaping the sounds yourself. You still have to know right. how you're, like with sound design, for example, like I can drop a synth patch that I took, 4 hours to make. I can drop that into Suno, and Suno would be able to pretty much copy it and just make it into something even better. And it's like, people should know that that's what's happening, and it's not like somebody toiling at a machine. You know what I mean? It's like just right. a click of a button.
Now, I mean, it would maybe be interesting to see if music will evolve from AI, because I mean, I guess using it as a tool, to draw inspiration, like, I was actually talking to a film director. Mm-hmm. And she asked me what my rates are for scoring her project. And I told her, and she's like, "No, I'm just going to use Suno." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Oh. I know. It was painful. Like a shot in the chest. I'm like, yeah. And I spent like 2 hours putting together this, big presentation demo. We could do this and we could do that. And she's like, "Nah, I'm not going to pay your rates."
Yeah. But, see, that's,
yeah,
but then it kind of starts to affect, a musician's ability to make a living, and then it's unfortunate because like before, to do music at a scale like that, you really did have to be passionate about it, because if you're not making the sounds yourself, like you're hiring musicians. It was like a community thing where people, there was money flowing through it, where people could make a living. And it's like, if everyone's just going to decide like, I'll just use Suno, like
I know
we're going to disappear, because it's eventually not going to be able to pay the bills, and then I'm going to be back working retail.
Yeah. Oh gosh, retail.
Yeah, not trying to do that.
You retail, no.
It can get under your skin. That's for sure. Yeah, but
hopefully you will never have to do retail again.
You know what? Life is ups and downs, and I'm just happy to be able to provide value to real people regardless. So, I mean, again, like the main thing for me is, as much as I love being able to have this as a full-time career, I also recognize with all the changes and everything, like, nothing is guaranteed. And at the end of the day, I have my email list. I have my Discord where I have my closest listeners, and I always have those people to connect with. And that is what matters the most to me, So that Suno can never take that away, you know?
For sure. And one of the things that I also point out about you that I really love is that you actually post videos of yourself actually working. So, you know, I mean, it's authentic. I try to find authenticity in artists that I like to feature, you know?
For sure.
You can tell like an AI AI, they'll spit out like, you know, a crazy amount of songs. Like I just released 23 songs in like 2 weeks and, you know, just still photos of themselves, never in the studio, never behind a console or with an instrument or anything like that. And I love that about you because,
Thank you. Yeah.
I've seen
that's the art to me.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. And so, well, let me ask you this. If, and it's, you know, we'll get off AI, but, because it's a polarizing topic for me, and it's especially been circulating with us here at Sonic Scout Radio over the past few days. But so if you could work with like any artist, who would it be? Like any artist in the world.
Any artist. That's hard. That's hard. 21 Pilots would be up there. Just because of how much they've influenced my sound. Same thing with The Neighborhood. Men I Trust is another one. I really like them.
Have you ever heard of Men I Trust?
Oh, you got to check them out. They're like, do you know the Marias?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's a similar lane to the Marias.
Right on. I love that chill vibe. Yeah.
And they got great mixes. So big fans of them. Earl Sweatshirt is up there too.
I've never heard of Earl Sweatshirt.
He's a hip hop artist.
Okay. He
worked early on with Tyler, the Creator, a lot.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm a big inspiration too. His album, Some Rap Songs, it's very like it's almost trippy. It's a little psychedelic, and I think it's influenced a bit of my sound as well. Right on.
Yeah. I like that psychedelic sound. And I was going to ask you because when you when you stepped away for a second, I saw those posters in the back. It said the New World Tour. What is that?
So this is a poster from Childish Gambino's World Tour. Yeah, he ended up actually cutting it short because of a health problem, but we got to see him before it, and I'm hoping he's going to be all good. But yeah, and then this one's Cage the Elephant.
Okay.
Saw them in Cincinnati. You know Cage the Elephant?
I don't.
You're
telling me a lot of new stuff that I have not heard. So
I bet you would love Cage the Elephant, and you've probably heard. Heard "Ain't No Rest for the Wicked." You know that song?
Yeah, of course.
That's them.
That's them. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they're also a big inspiration. Yeah.
So they've got like a really big, like Imagine Dragons sort of sound.
Kind of, yeah. It's a little more. Yeah. It leans like almost folky in some aspects too. Yeah.
Right on.
They're very interesting. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check them out for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. If of all those people I mentioned, I'd definitely check them out. They've got some great stuff.
Right on. And so when was it? When did you feel like you were really starting to gain traction? Like, was there like a particular single that you released?
Yeah. So when I was first starting to release the pop stuff, I released Nicotine, and it got a pretty good response on Instagram. And I was still only probably at like a couple thousand monthly listeners. So I wasn't huge at that point. And that song though, I felt it start to connect with people differently. And then when I released Personal Bias, I'm still not entirely even sure how this happened, but it blew up in Kyiv, Ukraine. And I started getting DMs from people in Ukraine. And I still have a bunch of followers from Ukraine that I talk to every once in a while. And that's been interesting. Kyiv has been probably the top city overall for Personal Bias. For sure.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, that's awesome. Kyiv.
Yeah,
that's just interesting, right? Like that it catches on, over there. That's it's fascinating.
Yeah, kind of random. Algorithm just pushes it where people are sometimes.
That means you're gonna have to do a show in Kyiv.
I would love to. I will someday, dude. I will.
Yeah. Any Have you thought about, doing any, setting up any tour dates or anything like that?
Definitely, especially as my discography grows. I'll have more of an idea of like what set list I would want to do and how I would perform. That's my main issue, is how I would perform it, because not all of my songs have guitar, and I also don't have a drum kit. And I would probably want somebody to play an electric kit where I could load samples into it, because a lot of my drums, even the ones that sound acoustic, are all pretty much sample based. It's just me layering samples.
Right.
So that would be probably my main obstacle, would just be getting a band together that would work with this type of music. But once I figure that out, especially being in LA, it's been easier to meet musicians that are, adjacent to this sort of a thing. So I'm thinking I'm going to eventually, I've got someone who could play bass and I've got someone who could play keys. So really I'm just looking for a drummer at this point, and then we'd be in business. But I also am not opposed to trying a solo show where I have stems loaded into Ableton and
backing track running. Or whatever.
Yeah. I just don't know about my stage presence. I've done a lot of performing with an acoustic guitar. So, sort of softer, almost folky stuff. So doing something that's a little bit more electronic and edgy, I would have to practice a little more on how I would present myself on stage. So those are the obstacles I'm facing with that. But I'm networking with some booking agents, and like it might happen. It might happen soon.
Being, a solo artist, yeah, it does make it kind of difficult to, set up a show, I guess, because you don't really have a band. When I saw 21 Pilots, I thought for sure that when I was approaching the stadium, that they were going to have this big, huge band and stuff on stage, but it was just the two of them.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how they pulled it off. I mean, I forget the name of the drummer.
Josh Dunn.
Josh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he is sick on the drums. And the other guy, I forget his name, but he plays keys and he plays guitar too. And they killed it, man. It was awesome.
Tyler Joseph and Josh Dunn. Yeah, those guys. Oh, man.
So when you do your guitar recording, you said you play acoustic guitar. Like, how do you mic that up? Do you have like pickups on your acoustic guitar? Or?
No, so I actually haven't been recording. I don't have an acoustic here right now, but
okay.
So like my recent stuff, actually I have it right here. My recent stuff has been on this guitar, this is my favorite guitar in the world. It's a PRS.
Oh, Paul Reed Smith. Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Boy,
that's a beautiful guitar too. I love that color.
I know, right? It's like, it looks toxic in a way. I like it.
Yeah.
but yeah, so I've just been direct input. I'll use, I have an Apollo twin. So I use the,
oh, nice.
Occasionally I use, what is it called? I think it's like an Ampeg unison plugin that kind of has, mimics an amp. But sometimes I'm just going direct in. This guitar has humbuckers, so it's got really
pickups. Yeah,
yeah, super warm and
nice.
Yeah, but when I do acoustic, it's usually mic'd, and sometimes depending on the setup, I'll have two mics. One where it's up by my hand to kind of get some of that slide sound, and then one by the sound hole. Yeah, it just depends on the honestly the room I'm in.
Right.
But
yeah, that's I love different recording techniques and stuff. But yes, when I'm recording an acoustic guitar that does not have pickups, of course, I would probably use I don't know, like a large diaphragm condenser up on the fret, and then maybe even something like this mic. This is the Shure SM7B.
SM7B.
Yeah, it's the 7B. It's not the podcast mic. It's this is actually the mic that Quincy Jones put Michael Jackson on for the entire Thriller album.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, not this exact mic. That would be awesome. Dude, if I had Michael Jackson's Thriller mic, that would. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of a mic junkie.
All right, well, I got a TLM 103 at Neumann.
Oh, nice. That is great. Like the TLM 103 is a perfect mic to put up on that fretboard.
Yes. Yeah, that's my favorite mic for vocals too.
Oh, that's why your vocals sound so good.
Yeah.
So you're recording the vocals and then you're going through the Apollo that's got great preamps, or are you going through a different preamp?
Yeah. So I go through, I think it's called the UAB 610. or
Right on.
UA610B. Yeah. Yeah. And then sometimes I use the Manley Voxbox
Oh, the
emulation
Manley,
also.
yeah. Manley, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff. The
And then of
Voxbox.
course, LA2A compressor, sometimes 1176 on different, things as well.
Dude, you got an LA2A?
Not a hardware. I've got an emulation.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, yeah, I have got the LA2A too. I think I actually did get the Universal Audio Suite. I think that's one of my subscriptions, and the LA2A is good. And I also use the Avalon.
Yeah.
So,
I've used the hardware Avalon at Berkeley.
Me too. I've used the hardware Avalon in Atlanta,
Nice.
and I so wish I had one because it's just
Same.
so beautiful. Yeah.
It is. Oh, it's got a nice warmth to it. Like, yeah, it's great. I love different preamps for vocals, especially. It really changes. It's subtle, but it changes it.
It does. And your vocal production is so good. Like
Thank you.
So
man.
you do all the vocal production yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's one of my biggest passions.
Yeah. Wow, that is awesome. And so, because you're becoming so popular, have people like hit you up in your DMs, like wanting to collaborate quite often? Or
I get a lot of people who are offering services.
Yeah,
so usually people want me to pay them for something. Like, and that's kind of part of the reason I even started producing and mixing and mastering in the first place, was that I just didn't have funds to pay someone to do that, and I wanted to put out music. So I was kind of quiet in high school and just sat on my computer a lot learning this stuff. So nowadays when people hit me up and they're like, hey, like, I'm charging this for mixing and mastering, like I heard some of your stuff, it's always like great to connect with them, but I'm just comfortable doing it myself. So that's just never been an issue, but I love collaborating. So like, I'm not opposed to collaboration. It just depends on, if it's going to be like a real collab or if we're doing something where I have to pay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that totally makes sense. And, collaboration, you also got to be able to connect with the person that you're collaborating with, of course.
100%. It's got to be the right, if I'm going to release it as a main release, it's got to be the right sound.
Right.
That's the other thing. Yeah,
for sure. And so how old were you actually, like when you first started like producing music, or when you were in front of your first DAW?
I think I was 13. I was 13. I had a crappy little laptop, and I got the free version of FL Studio. And I had always, I'd been playing guitar for 3 years pretty seriously. I was like super serious about guitar back then. I've loosened up on the guitar a little bit recently, but back then I was super into it, and I loved, the classic rock. And I was just trying to figure out how I could make something myself. I had used a 4-track recorder before, and so getting in the DAW, it was like FL Studio came with like pretty much nothing. So it was like, okay, I got a little USB mic, really cheap mic, and just started recording my voice into it and using synthesizers. And at the time I didn't even know it, but I was starting to do sound design with synthesizers, just trying to make
awesome.
Yeah. So started then
with the attack, the decay, the sustain, the release, all the basics, and then that leads to like all these different wave designs and stuff like that. That's cool.
Right. I had no idea what I was doing back then. It was just like turning knobs. But then when I went to Berkeley and started studying sound design, it really clicked. I was like, oh, like I was doing this before. I just didn't know the science behind how I'm actually shaping the sound wave and what's actually happening, with like an LFO sort of
right. Thing. So basically when all your friends are playing like Call of Duty or something, you're like just sitting there pounding away at the guitar and learning music production at the very young age of 13.
Yeah. I wasn't really allowed to play video games growing up, and I spent a lot of time outside and just working on production and guitar.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It just really sparked a love for creating, that I just can't, now I can't stop.
Now, were you ever like writing poetry or anything like that when you were younger?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess it was a way for me to kind of have an emotional outlet. Again, I was just kind of quiet, and I feel like I didn't share a lot of how I was feeling. So for me, like, writing little poems during class or, whatever it was, really made a difference for my sort of mental health too. And it became a healthy way to kind of put negative emotions into something.
Right.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I was funny with it, dude. I'd be working. I wanted so much time working on music that, like, in high school, when I was like walking through the hallways to classes, I'd be holding my laptop with my headphones on, still trying to produce, like, get 5 extra
As you're
minutes.
walking down the hall?
Yeah, I just wanted the extra 10 minutes, man.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. Did you ever write like a love poem for like a love interest when you were in school?
Music for me has been much more centered around, mental health and the kind of struggles that I've faced and things I've observed. I've kind of, I've seen a lot of different things in my life. I feel like I've been to a lot of different places, and like, I just, I like to write about experiences more than just your classic love song. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right. Well, that's cool. That's very cool. And what inspired the song Nicotine?
The concept is just somebody that you're with that you feel like you can't get away from, even though it's bad for you. Your touch is like nicotine. I don't think I'll ever stop. Was the initial concept there.
Were you ever a nicotine user, like a real nicotine user?
No. So I have not. So I've used it a couple of times, but I've actually never been addicted to nicotine. There was a time where I was addicted to cannabis for sure when I was younger. Right. But I don't know if many people know this, but I actually don't smoke anymore at all. It's been
weed anymore?
A little while. No. I mean, occasionally I'll take an edible if I feel like doing something, but I haven't drank in 3 years, and I haven't smoked in probably 6 months. Like when I moved to California, I completely quit.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's so like, everybody out there smokes.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Isn't that funny? Yeah. It's like I come here and then quit. Yeah. No, but it's just better for my voice to not do it. That's really the main reason.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the edibles. I guess that's why you would take an edible, so you're not, hindering your voice or anything like that. But yeah, I did. I don't really use marijuana anymore these days, just because I don't know. Like, I just like to be more sharp-minded.
100%. Yeah.
But I will say that it did. I was able to create some pretty interesting stuff, musically with it. Do you think that any of your previous use, did it inspire any music for you or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, Personal Bias is about my struggle with that in my teen years.
Okay,
especially. Cool. Yeah. So Personal Bias is about pretty much having a bias towards, a substance. Like, I didn't drink at that time, but I was so pretty much addicted to cannabis that it was a bias I had. I'm just going to do this forever, even though it may not be the best thing for me. And I think in a lot of ways, when I was younger, I really needed it, to be honest. Like, when I was a teenager, it really helped me get through a lot of things, with mental health especially. And it served its purpose when I was younger. And, now I don't. Just like you said, I like to kind of stay sharper now, and but it's definitely those experiences and the people I met during that time, and just Ohio is just an interesting place to grow up. I feel like there's a lot of drug use, and
is there a lot of drug use there?
I would say so. Yeah, at least in the ways that the people I was around, like there's a lot of that, and obviously there's a big drinking culture. And I just think some of my younger, adolescent experiences really shape how I write. I reflect a lot on that when I'm writing.
If you could go back, to yourself at say the age of 13, right when you were getting started, and tell yourself one thing, what would it be?
Follow the goosebumps.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's what I would say.
That's how it's it. That's it, right? The goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah. Just when you feel that feeling, it's like, that's what you're pursuing, not, some sort of number or, definitely not fame. So that, I think that is what has led me to the right things. And back when I remember the day I decided, I was sitting on the floor, my laptop on the floor. I think my parents were watching a movie, and I just decided, I was like, if I start now and I do this every day, like, I think I could really get really good at this. Yeah. And I would just also say, like, stick to that. And then I did. So
that's awesome. And you thought you made that decision at the age of 13?
Consciously. I remember the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That is, that's pretty incredible, because most people at the age of 13, I was sort of like one of these type of kids. I started playing keys when I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, I took the talent for granted. And I was like, the age of 13, 14, I was finding myself hanging out with the wrong crowd and not really giving the maniacal focus on my craft that I should have given. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't start doing that until, my later teens, early 20s. And, I wish I could have gone back to the age of 13 like you and made that decision, because, I mean, you're only 25 years old and like you've got, you've gained more traction than, a lot of people, because this industry is difficult. It's difficult to navigate through. It's difficult to get heard. And, so where do you see Ghost Weather in, say, 10 years from now?
10 years?
Yeah, when you're 35.
Ideally, my goal is to hit 1 million monthly listeners for sure. Sometimes I think about 10 million. Nice. That might be a little ambitious, but I think shooting high is good, because you'll land. Maybe you'll get there, but you might land somewhere lower, but it's still higher. So right. Ideally, I would say 10 million monthly listeners. Probably going on tour would be good. And then also, I'm actually really interested in sync. I want to get more into sync and sync placement.
Do you have your music in any libraries? Like, have you ever submitted to any music libraries, or is it all just streaming?
So I personally actually haven't, because the thing that I've noticed is a lot of the like general libraries don't allow you to have a publishing administration deal, which so my pub admin deal like messes with that. For some reason, they don't like that. All they do is collect, though, so I don't really understand that. But through one of my collabs with Steezy Prime, got signed into his publisher's NBC Universal library. So we're hoping someday for a placement with that.
I think it's going to happen for you guys. I
hope so, man. Yeah. And we're both. I mean, I love working with him. It's such a pleasure. And we always just seem to be on the same page with it. But I'm super open to more collabs for sync, and eventually I'm hoping to get my own sort of either sync agency or music supervisor connection. Where the thing that I feel like I bring to the table is that I own most of my songs completely outright, and it's a one-stop thing. So
one-stop shop. That's right.
I can also write to prompts. So if somebody they're like, we need this and we need it, in 2 days, I can do that. So I'm like, I feel like sync is a really good place for me. So eventually I want to work my way in there.
Especially, because you do write about the topics that you write about, mental health and things like that. It's very suitable for so many different things. So man. Yeah. I'm going to be keeping my eye on you and hoping that, I can hear Ghost Weather on a Netflix series or something like that. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome, dude. That's absolutely the goal.
So besides that, do you have any goals that you really want to tackle within the next year or two?
Yeah. Well, I've started starting on the 17th with this release. We're going to do a release every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks?
Yeah,
wow.
I've got that booked out through September now. So
my goodness.
Yeah, if I can keep that rolling, that's going to be the goal. Just, make the catalog bigger. And I've gotten to the point where I'm far enough ahead where I can really still make every song super quality. And it's actually gotten to the point now where I can take longer than 2 weeks on a song, and I'm booked out ahead of time. So it just works out that way. So I'm going to.
So you're sandbagging a little bit. You're going to start with a few and then release every couple of weeks.
I think this is when I'm really old. If I die, I want to have like a year or two of music that's still set to release, like posthumously, you know.
For people that might be listening that do not produce music and that are not using like, you know, Suno or any AI music making platform.
Yeah.
I can give you my answer, but how long would you say from the very beginning idea, the very first time you hit the record button to the very end, the final master, how many hours would you have put into the average song?
Average? Because it varies. It definitely varies pretty drastically, but average, if I work on it every day, I would say average is probably a week, probably 7 days.
Right.
But some songs just come to you and it just like clicks and it's less than that. Like some of my best songs I've finished in 2 days, you know, but I've also had songs where I'll work on them for a couple months and it just doesn't quite, like I'm just still trying to make things work. Usually it's an arrangement problem for me.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think a week is probably good average. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I could put anywhere from like, you know, 40 to, well, I guess, you know, like you're saying, some songs just come, you know, very easily.
Yeah.
But anywhere from maybe like 25 to hours all the way up to like 60 hours for like one song, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work. People don't realize. And do you do all the mixing yourself or do you outsource that?
No, I do all the mixing and mastering, and even my collabs I mix and master.
Oh, you're doing your own mastering as well?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, start to finish. It's all just right there.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And those monitors that you've got, the Atoms, they're great reference monitors. They've got a nice flat response because your mixes are they're pretty on point, you know? And what is that? Is that a microphone sitting right behind you?
Or is that a light? That's a light.
Yeah. Oh, it's a light.
It's a light.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. My microphone's in this booth here. Yeah.
Oh, is that a wave tattoo on your arm?
That's actually a tree.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I glanced at it. I thought it was like a...
It kind of looks like that though. Yeah. I hear that a lot actually. Yeah. So it's kind of a dual purpose. And it's also, you know, I deal with sound waves a lot.
Yeah. And so is that like your vocal booth back there?
It is. Yeah. So
okay,
it opens up and I got the Neumann in there.
Nice.
My cat's in there right now too.
Your cat?
Yeah. He's sitting in there.
What's your cat's name?
It's BMO. Here, want me to get him?
Yeah, I want to see BMO. I love kitty cats.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, what's up, BMO? You're such a cutie. Wow, look at that big face.
Yeah,
man, I love the cats like that, the Bengal cats that have the stripes on them.
Yeah, he's part Bengal.
Yeah. How did you come up with the name BMO?
I didn't actually. It's the person I got him from. I got him in South Carolina.
Oh, right on. Yeah. Well, it's still, I mean, it's a good name, BMO. I like it.
I know, right? Yeah, it's from Adventure Time, the TV show. So I stuck with it. I was like, yeah, makes sense. Very
cool. Mm-hmm. Is it pretty expensive to live out there?
Yes.
I would imagine.
Yeah. You know what's funny though? It's been cheaper than Boston. Living in Boston was more expensive.
Wow. I would have never thought that. Wow.
I wouldn't have either. But yeah, the rent in Boston is just it's unbelievable. It's just too high.
Wow. And then the weather out there is so much better.
Yo, dude. Yeah. I was working. I used to do live sound as well for a jazz bar out in Boston. I was working 2 jobs and I didn't have a car. So it's just lots of walking through the cold, man. This is so much better.
Okay. So now I've got a question because you said that you did live sound. Live sound is a different animal than being in the studio.
Totally different.
What I mean, do you enjoy doing live sound or do you prefer to be in the studio?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't really enjoy live sound. Like it's not that I dislike it. I don't love how it was high pressure. It was high pressure because the musicians don't really understand the constraints that you have.
Right.
And the management of the building wants you to control everything, and the musicians have a stage volume that they control, and it all has to work. And you have to be very good at managing people's emotions especially in a small venue. So for me, that was a lot of stress. Now it paid a lot better than, a lot of things in music, to be honest. Like it was a good job in that sense. And I loved the people I worked with, but there are things you can't always control. And it just kind of got to me after a while. I just really it wasn't really my favorite thing. I prefer the studio for sure.
Yeah, me too, actually. I was actually doing live sound at this really big church. They hired me to come in. And, when people don't really know proper mic etiquette, no. And so they'll hold like the microphone down, like close to like a floor monitor, and then you'll get that ringing feedback. And then everybody knows you're the sound guy. So everybody turns around and looks at me like it's my fault,
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I had a guy that liked his monitor directly behind him, and he had a mic as well. So the monitor's blasting towards the mic. It was a whole issue.
Yeah, and you're like, dude, all you got to do is just not do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And they do not want to listen.
Right. They don't want to listen. I would get like the bass player, like to me, like I would have the mix, perfect, and the headphones, go out there and check it, out standing in the middle of the church and the auditorium. And the guys would be like, turn my bass up or whatever. And I'd always kind of pretend like I'm turning the knob up, but not really turn it. And they'd be like,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Did you ever do that?
Do it. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's so funny, man.
Yeah. There were a couple times, it was kind of a small bar. So there were times where I would have the house completely off even. And it would just be the stage. It would just be some of their monitors would be so loud too. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, what do I can't make it any lower. The management's telling me it's too loud. So then,
right.
Yeah. It was a whole thing. There was a couple times where during the break, they would go off and be, talking to people, and I would sneak on stage, start turning their amps down. Like, and then it's like, they don't even notice when they come back on.
Yeah, that's funny.
Very psychological.
Yeah, it's very psychological. And it's funny how I even have done that in the studio, like when I've got an artist on the mic or something, when I know that, I'm right in the pocket where I need to be. Yeah. And, or like, doing a mix with the client or whatever. And I'll pretend like I'm turning the volume up or making some sort of adjustment, and really I'm not. And then they'll be like, yeah, that's much better. So even just the idea to people sometimes, like they see me doing it, they're like, oh yeah, now I'm satisfied. So I just roll with it.
It's hard. Yeah. Ear blindness is a thing, like you listen to something over and over and it starts to sound different than it really is. And I think when you're mixing,
so true.
Yeah. When you're mixing with a client in the room, they start to experience that too. And then things sound off to them, but it's like, you have to learn how to manage that, and sometimes take a step away for a second and come back, and things will sound different. It's really weird, honestly. Like,
it is really weird because your ears, like, when you're listening to the same thing for like, hours and hours on end, just over and over, your ears do start to play with you a bit, and you do have to like step back, I mean, 100%. How many times have you, gone to the computer the next day and the mix sounds completely different from where you left it, right?
All the time. Yeah. And that's why it's, I've always got to be looking at levels too. I try to use I think it's spectrogram is the word, but it shows the actual, frequency profile. So I can see, like, even if in the moment, the bass sounds great, it's like, I can see if it's too loud, and that kind of helps me balance things too. I also find it really interesting how I can listen on headphones and the monitors, and it can be great. And then you hop in the car and it's like, okay, something's a little off here. But cross-referencing, I mean, you were talking about your monitors. Cross-referencing on different speakers is huge. One of the things that I actually value a lot when I'm listening to mixes is the iPhone speakers.
Me too, actually.
Yeah.
Lots
of people, that's the first place they're going to hear it.
Right.
Yeah. They're not fantastic. So it's got to be right.
The Auratone little cube monitors, what I'm talking about? Auratones?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I do want to get a pair of those because they're really great for like getting that really perfect iPhone mix.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to look into those too.
Yeah, the Auratones, they're very good for that. And I do like to cross reference. I use the HS8s. I've got the Rocket 5s. I got the
nice,
NS, the classic NS10s,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And so I've got a pair of those and JBLs or whatever. But really, I only reference between the Rockets and the HS8s. And then I use the Beyer Dynamic DT770 headphones.
Those are killer.
Yeah, they have it. What headphones are those that you...
These are Sennheiser. I like these a lot too.
Oh, the Sennheiser. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. HD 560S.
Right on. Yeah, those are great headphones too. And so that's okay. So it's no wonder that, you're using the TLM 103. You've got the Apollo that's got nice preamps, converters, and all that stuff. Plus, you've got obviously, the LA2A or all those, tools that you use. So your vocals come out nice and warm and lush. They're not too bright. They're not too harsh. They're not too muddy. Yeah. I can tell you spend a lot of time with your vocal production.
A lot, dude. Yeah. It's probably the most important thing to me.
When you're collaborating, does he play an instrument too? Or
yeah, he plays keys and sometimes he'll play bass on our songs too.
Right on. Okay. Yeah. So so you've got the guitar, he's got the keys and the bass. Wow.
Yeah, and occasionally we'll work with a couple other guitarists too. And they're killer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, would you also have clients come in just to do recording for money, just for like extra cash or whatever?
I've started to consider that. Yeah. I've been doing remote mixing for a few people, but I haven't looked. I've been so focused on building this brand that I need to branch out a little bit for sure. And I would love to work on some other people's stuff.
Has anybody ever told you that you look like Ashton Kutcher?
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you. I appreciate
I'm trying to think of who in the world does this dude look like? And then it just dawned on me, Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, dude. Wow. Yeah, I hear that pretty often.
Yeah. And so this next release, Pavement, is that something that the two of you are working on together, or is that all you?
That's the two of us together. So it's already done. We just got to wait for it to drop.
Wow. And then once that drops, every 2 weeks after that?
Yeah. So I have it on my board over here. So I've got that collab between us on the 17th of July. And then I've got my own release on the 31st of July. And then I've got another collab on the August 14th. And then another solo release on August 28th. And then the next one will be September 11th.
Wow, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we're starting
and I'll be playing, so long as my platform is here, I'm on Sonic Scout. Every release, I'll be playing it.
Dude, well, I got to send my people over as well, man.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Going. Yeah, man. So I will be in touch with you. And I appreciate you being on the show. Thank you so much for this.
Hey, well, thank you for having me, man. It's been a blast.
Awesome. And I cannot wait for the next release, which is going to be July 17th, Pavement. Yeah. Okay. For the listeners, make sure to check that out. That will be streaming everywhere you get your music. Thank you, Ghost Weather. I appreciate you so much.
Hey, thank you too, Don. It's been great.
Right on, man. We'll be in touch. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Take care, bro.
You too. Bye-bye.